All right, you guys, it is another day in the shop. It is Friday again. I don't know what the date is, but it's Friday. We got another project, another painting project. So got our man basket out of here last Friday. I had to do some rework to it. We got it done. I don't know if we're gonna kick that rework video out or not. We'll see if there's enough footage, but I literally had to move the side forklift tubes up so the in ones, his forklift would go all the way through. He kind of saw the print from the get-go, bought it off, I built it, and then he didn't like it, so I had to add about 8-10 hours of rework onto that man basket. I did make it right, you guys. I wasn't planning on charging him anything because I want my customers to be happy, so I wasn't going to charge him. He did write me a check when I got done to kind of even out. It didn't cover all my labor, but he tried to make it right so that neither one of us kind of came out on the bad end of it. So that was nice of him to do. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it. I just wanted it to be right for him. So we did get that done. It's out there. He's using it now. And I may have met another person in the process that kind of wants me to come work for them on my days off, fabricating stuff for him in his own shop. So we'll see if he calls me. I gave him my card and stuff, so we'll see what happens there. But today, here's what we're on. I'm kind of excited for this. I've never really seen one of these cars. This is an MG. It's a buddy of mine, a guy that I work with. He wants me to build the stock roll bar in this thing. He's restoring this for his wife. Or not restoring it, but fixing it up, making it nice for her. He's gonna give it to her for her anniversary, I guess. So we get the luxury of helping him out, and we're gonna build the stock roll bar in here. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's fairly simple. It's gonna bolt somewhere in here and it's gonna come up, over, and down. He doesn't want anything fancy, just literally a U. That's what the stock roll bars kind of look like. They do have a bar that goes back that way and bolts in also. So I'm literally working on pulling this piece of carpet out because he's got this center console that he's getting redone by a local guy here that I told him about. A really good dude. He's also gonna probably take him this once I get my roll bar figured out and have this cut around my roll bar and have the guys sew little slits in there so he can tuck this back in around the roll bar so it looks totally factory. But part of the problem is this carpet is stuck under this rear panel. There's this like leather covered panel and the carpet's stuck under it, so I'm working on getting it out. I'm having a little bit of trouble. I really haven't even been working on this very long, you guys. I literally just started on this. There's one screw right down in there, right behind the seatbelt. I can't get my shortest screwdriver on it. There's not enough room. So not even into this car a couple minutes and I'm already struggling. It's all right though, I got one of these. That should get it. They're not very big screws. I did have to pull out there's these little leather things. I'm guessing it's the straps that maybe go around this and hold it. But they were in the way, so I had to take them out. So I'm hoping to get that out, get this out, and then I'm gonna get a game plan of what plates, because there's a plate that's supposed to bolt like here. So I'm gonna have to make that plate. The battery tray is right there, so I can't cover this up. So it's literally, this is the only spot this roll bar can go. I honestly think it's a little weird the way MG did this, because that roll bar is going to come up like right here. And it's literally just a loop. It doesn't even go all the way to the edge of the car. It's not, they don't look like they're really tight to when this is up. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be like way over here and like tied up against here. They're not. They're literally like right in here and come across and then back down. They're pretty simple, pretty straightforward, plain stuff. He literally, you can buy this roll bar, you guys, that goes in this. They are really expensive. I'm gonna be able to build this way cheaper than what he can buy this thing for, probably. We'll see once I start figuring out how to drill holes in this car, because I'm gonna have to drill some holes to bolt this. Same with back there, there's little down pipes that go back, kind of like little triangles, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure I can get this thing built for way cheaper than what he's gonna could buy it for. And honestly, the ones that you can buy are more like racy, they're more like aftermarket racy kind of thing, not like the stock roll bar should look in this car. So that's kind of what he wants. He wants the stock roll bar. We're gonna use the same, and this is just like a show bar, you guys. It's not an actual roll bar. It's not gonna hold this car up when it rolls over, which I'm pretty sure it will, honestly. I'm building it out of the same stuff I did that and that. So mainly for show though. He just wants it to look factory, like it had a roll bar in it from the get-go. So that's what we're working on. I'm gonna try to pull this panel out, get the carpet out, and start figuring out what plates I'm gonna need. I'm hoping I have this piece of pipe already. That should be enough to get this whole thing done. Then I got this plate right here that I think I can use for all the bottom pieces. So I got most of the material already. I'm gonna charge him for the material because I had to pay for it. It's actually metal for my beep that I'm just gonna use to get this done for him. I'll figure out how much it is and I'll order myself some more when I get that far. So he did give me money up front for metal too, so that helps. Yeah, so let me get on this. I'm gonna try to get that panel out of here. We'll kind of show you guys what that looks like behind there once I get it out. This car is really tiny. Everything's kind of awkward for me to work in. I'm not a huge gentleman, but I'm not exactly a small gentleman. So, I mean, that's the seat folded down. That's just much as I got. So it's just a little guy in here. So we're gonna keep trying to whittle away at this, try to get this out of here. Maybe I can sit here in the glove box so you can watch me do this. Boy. This is like 1/8 inch, dude. It's like just cardboard stuff. Now we'll be able to get that panel out. Okay. Let there be light. So you guys can see it's just like this really thin, like wafer boardy stuff. I mean, it's super thin. So looks like somebody has redone this panel because that's fresh glue on there. So whoever owned this car before has done some pretty good work to it. Looks like I'm gonna set that on the luggage rack right there. He's got a piece of luggage he's gonna mount there permanently. So now, hopefully, we can get this carpet out of here so we can see what we're working with. This thing's just buttoned down. There it goes, right out of there. Yay! That back there. All right, that's not a whole lot of room. This car does have like an aftermarket stereo in it. We took the speaker out when he was here, so here's our battery and stuff. So this is our spot we're gonna mount to. I'm gonna get this off of here so I can see what's under here, hopefully. I'm hoping I don't have to go under the car to get this figured out, but we will see. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my plate's gonna go right here. We're gonna bolt through here, and the pipe will come. Wow, sorry guys. We can bolt through here, and the pipe's gonna come up right behind the headrest, or right behind this headrest here. Small little U is gonna come right back down over there, and then we'll have some little jaunts that run back here. I got to figure out where they hook the back ones to. I think they hook them right here. So we're gonna have to figure that out too. I might have to pull these plugs out, see what's under here. Or they might go to here-ish, or maybe here. They might go to here actually, now that I'm looking at it. I don't know. We're gonna get it figured out though. I'm gonna pull this off so I can see what's going on underneath it here, hopefully. see if I can drill into this part. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at, you guys. We're gonna keep whittling at this. See if this headrest will hold you guys up so you can watch me struggle. I'm not sure why, but it always seems like whenever you need a Phillips screwdriver, all you can find is regular, and then vice versa. These must just be quarter turns. Yeah. When you're looking for the other screwdriver, you can't find it. You got just your Phillips. I don't know. Like little Zeus fasteners, huh? That's kind of cool. And there's a battery and a big giant fuse. A really big fuse for the stereo. Huh. And you cannot see that part. I thought that was open going that way, but it is not. Neither that way either. Poke. That makes this a little more difficult. Now I'm going under the car, guys. I thought I was going to be able to get to this, but it's definitely, it's like a battery tray in there. So there's a battery, and then there's just a tray down in here. There's some opening there, but all this is solid, so that ain't going to work. Now that means I'm going in through the fender well. Nope, I'm going under this car. Can't even see it from the fender well. Okay. I'm gonna have to shut you guys off here. I'm gonna get this car jacked up, put on jack stands. My GoPro's already at 75%. I've only recorded 14 minutes. So I'm gonna shut you off here, you guys, just so I have some battery life to record the rest of this. I'm gonna get that put back on, get this car jacked up, see what it's under here. I kind of felt under it earlier. I know there's some fuel line, brake line somewhere in here, which I don't want to drill into. Okay, you guys, I've made it a little ways here on the yellow car, the MG. I've figured out where I'm gonna mount this roll bar. I got 2 of my plates made. The other plates I'm gonna have to think about a little bit, but essentially this is a piece that I made. So this is a piece of that 5" by 3/16 that I bought for the Beep. I built the bumper out of it. It was originally gonna be those side curtains on the Beep. I ended up not needing it, so I built my bumper, and now I'm gonna use the other part for this. But essentially what I did, I put it in my press. You guys seen my little press before on other videos. And I used it to bend this. It's not a 90, but it's close. So I used that little guy right there that I bought from a guy I work with, Dad. So I put that in there, bent it, and then I started trying to figure out where I was gonna put some holes in this car. So I get this thing bolted in, because I was really honestly hoping that there was some factory mounts in here, but there's not. I thought there would be like plates here that had like nutserts in it or something I could just build some plates and bolt into. There's nothing. So now I'm building my own. But what I did, I marked out some holes here, drilled some holes, I bent that thing. I went under the car, right here under the car. As you can see, I got the car jacked up, way up. But I went under the car, and right here, there's like a pocket, and it goes down about this far. And the link for the suspension bolts in right here. It's about that wide, and it bolts in there, so this is above it. It's in the pocket of the suspension link. I'll try to get under there and show you, but I drilled those holes. I laid out some lines, did some measurements, poked those holes through. So essentially just on the other side of this bead right here where they rolled into the panel, there's about 1 inch clearance right here. So what I'm gonna do on the back side, I got some of this. This is 8 by 1. That's exactly going to be the width of that gap down there on the inside of the car, underneath the car. So from here over, there's about 1 inch of room between the frame rail and this bead. So I'm going to run this up from the bottom. I'm going to cut it long, so I got like a little handle. I'm going to run it up here. I'm going to mark these holes. I'm going to drill it here. Then I'm going to weld some nuts on the back side of it. So you can literally use this like a tab and slide it up there and bolt this roll bar in. There'll be one on each side to hold that together. One there, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna have to drill some holes up here. I gotta get under, measure here. We're gonna drill a couple more holes up there. And then eventually there's a little down bar that's supposed to come down essentially from where this bar is going to be back to these angled pieces from what it looks like online. So I'm gonna have to mount a piece of tube right here. I don't think this is supposed to be here. When you put the roll cage in, this knob goes away. So I'm gonna have to see how bad he actually wants to keep that on there. If he wants to keep it on there, I'm probably gonna drill it out. I have more of those, and I'll mount one to my roll bar so that I can bolt this in here, and my roll bar can be here, and he can still use that factory pushing. It'll just be mounted to my roll cage instead of to the body, because I'm gonna have to build some kind of plate that's gonna cover most of this to disperse this load, because this is like where there's another suspension piece coming up in, one on each side. This is probably a little better example. You can kind of see how that's slanted. I'm gonna put a plate over this whole thing, and I'm gonna have to build a plate underneath on the back to bolt that into, so it doesn't just rip the screws through. That's kind of why you got this, and I'll have a plate on the back side here, same with here. So this is about as far as I made it. I got these two done. I got these holes drilled. I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna mark those holes, drill those holes. You guys can see I'm making a little bit of a mess, so I'm gonna have to vacuum. I'm pulling some of his carpet back. He may have to have this re-glued back on because I need to get to this stuff, so kind of is what it is. He said do what I got to do to get this built, so I kind of told him some of this stuff's gonna have to come peel off the car just a little bit so that I can get to it. This side was pretty much already off the car. That side was stuck a little bit, so I had to kind of pry that off. But there's nothing that, like this, literally when I put this back, you guys, my roll bar is gonna go on top of this. It's gonna go up here and hold that carpet back down. They may have to do a little bit of glue on it. I can't imagine they will, but maybe. We'll see. All right, you guys. So I got my two plates here made. I literally used my passenger side one. I spun this around and lined it up so I could mark my holes and drill them so they're identical. And then I use this to set it in the car and use this as a jig on the driver's side to drill these holes in. Then back on the passenger side, I stuck this up in the fender, up underneath the car here, so that it lined up with my holes there, and I marked them. So I made sure that these were spot on, so I drilled those. The other thing I did, I labeled this as passenger. So that'll go with that one, and then I marked this one driver side. Driver. I'll slide that up in there, mark it, and drill my holes on the driver's side next Friday. It's about all the work I'm gonna get done this Friday. Like I said, we're going out of town, so my wife's headed home right now. I gotta go pick up driver from school. We're gonna check him out a little early and head towards Bozeman. So I'll get this one drilled next Friday. Maybe even, I don't know, I think we're gonna stay till Monday, come home Monday night. So maybe Monday night I'll do a little bit, or maybe Tuesday. I'm not quite sure yet. But if nothing else, next Friday I'll be back on this, you guys. We are on this car finally. It is now, I don't know, a week and a half that I should have been working on this, and I haven't touched it. That's not true. I did a little bit of work. I'm just a little frustrated. I'm trying to get some stuff done. It's not happening. It's like 4 o'clock on a Sunday, so I'm gonna be up way late and I gotta work super early. Just other life stuff happened, you guys, and I haven't had a chance to work on this. So I'll kind of show you what I got done so far. I honestly don't even remember what I recorded last, so hopefully this isn't a total crap show for Dylan. Here's what I got done though, you guys. I got these plates bent. I got them bolted in. I got bolts this morning. That's the one thing I did do this morning. I got bolts. I think I showed you guys the 1-inch tabs that I have that go from about here to here behind this. I welded those nuts to here, so now it's a tab you can reach from the bottom, put the tab in there, bolt this in. It's the only way to reach those nuts, or those holes, because it's, like I said, it's right where the suspension link is, and it's all the way down. It's the only spot I could bolt into. So right now I'm gonna work on bending this hoop. I just measured across here. I'm gonna try to get it as close to the edge as possible. He literally said I would build this a little different if it was my car, you guys, but what he wants is it to just come straight up here, just barely above the headrest, all the way across and back down. Super simple, just a straight, like a box almost, a horseshoe. That's what he wanted. And it literally, I can kind of see why he wants it, because when you pull the top up, it barely clears at, I think I have this at 3 foot across and 2 foot going this way. I measured it at 2 foot. It's gonna be a little shorter than that. I have a feeling when I cut it. It's just barely gonna be above these headrests. Just to clear this top when it comes up, there's one spot in the very back when it comes up that it almost hits. This top's pretty hard for me to open and close by myself, but yeah, essentially when this bar comes up, it almost hits right there, and then when the top goes back down, you can see these bows and how that plastic kind of turns. It's gonna touch it, almost. It's really close, you guys, so this is gonna be really low. It's just gonna be just enough to make it look like there's a factory roll bar back in here. So that's what I'm working on right now. I had to move my my tubing bender over here. I needed some room. I kind of put this car in a bad spot when I put it in my shop, so I should have left it back towards the door a little more so I could have a little more room. It's just too far in. Yeah, story of my life. Wow, I wish. So that's what we're working on. I'm gonna get this laid out. Hopefully I can set you guys up, and my GoPro's gonna cooperate today. While I'm kind of bending this, I got to do a little bit of mathing, and then we'll kind of get this laid out. I know I want the center's going to be 3 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, so I got to add 2 3/4 and bend it. I'm going to check my instructions one last time before I bend it, just to make sure that I'm bending the right way. Okay guys, here's what I got so far. So I measured from here. I know the height of this end bar is going to be 2 feet. So I measured this out at 2 feet. As you bend this towards the center, this leg will grow. So it's going to be longer than I need, you guys. But it doesn't matter because I actually need that extra length to set the height of this thing. I'll cut the even amount off each side once I figure out what angle and what height I want to set this at. So I know the overall needs to be 2 feet tall. So I'm just leaving my leg at 2 feet, even though it's going to grow. Same with this. So when I put this in the bender, so I got 2 foot, 2 3/4. Here's my 3 foot, 2 3/4, 2 foot. So when I put this in my bender, I'm gonna put it here and I'm gonna bend to the middle. So that's why you add the 2 3/4. When you bend this thing, it'll actually shorten the length of this center by that much. You got to do it on both sides. So when you bend this side and bend this side, it comes out right at 3 foot. So it's kind of what we did. And then, like I said, I leave the ends long. I'd rather be a little bit long, waste a little bit of material to make sure I get the right height. So, because these are going to grow, even though, because it's shortening it this way, but it's going to make this length grow longer. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I took my Friday work day and I had to fix my brand new ski boots to make some alpine bindings. So now I'm playing catch up. I had to make the binding plates so I could try them out before the season ends, and we were going skiing on Saturday, so I had to get them done. Just a little bit of rock, not too bad. Okay, you guys, I made a little bit of way here. I got this roll bar tacked in. It's just a little bit above the head rest. It just barely clears this when it comes up and down. Depending on where the soft top's kind of sitting, it just barely rubs, like right there, just barely. But now you can see from the back, you guys, that's the way this thing's supposed to look. This is, now I understand why he wanted it the way he did. It is just really tight. Everything just barely fits in there. But yeah, it's in there, that bar's there. I'm working on these plates, you guys. I had different ones cut. So the roll bars that I see, they normally cover this entire piece, but there's a button right here for his carpet. So I gotta work around that because I'm gonna put the carpet down, then this roll cage will go over it. So I've made these new plates and they're gonna bolt through this side here, over here. They're gonna bolt in there. That's the upper suspension link pocket area. I'm gonna make sure that I can still put holes in that side. I got the other one made over there. We're getting closer, you guys. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the nuts on the back side of this. I got this plate in here. It's mounted. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I would not normally do this on a normal roll cage. I nut certed those through that piece. The good thing about it is this is dispersing this weight on two sides here, on the edge of the bolts and on this face here. And that's gonna be tied to this bar to here. This is not a true roll cage, you guys. He just wanted a show bar. I'm just using this. It is what it is. This is what I'm doing. I can't get my hand up in this pocket to put those on by myself. So I had to nut cert them, you guys. I literally, my hand would barely fit in there. I mean, wow. Yeah, I kind of beat it up trying to get up in there. I tried for a while, I couldn't get it. Even with this hole through the battery, trying to reach both, I couldn't get this one. And that side's gonna be even worse because there's not a battery hole. So I nut certed them. I drilled those holes out, I nut certed them. We're gonna get these nut certs in over there. Rib nuts, nut certs, whatever you wanna call them. You guys let me know what you call them. That's what I call them, one or the other, depending on the day. But yeah, so we got that plate in, so now we'll be able to put our bar from there up. This is just a sample piece, so it's gonna go from there right to there, you guys. I'm gonna try to make it go up as high as possible to support this upper part of this hoop. So somewhere in there, it's gonna go like that. And that'll be the back part of the bar. So I'm literally gonna use these 4 bolts to bolt this in because it's not a roll cage. We got our bars in. So we got our main hoop in, got our lower bar, I notched it both sides. Got this one in, notched it. Got it tacked to the lower plate, so we're gonna undo all these. We're gonna weld everything out. And I'm hoping that this bar doesn't collapse that way, you guys. I'm really nervous if that's gonna move. I really wanna put something that way to hold it so it don't move, but it's not in the drawing, so, of the original roll bar, so we're not gonna put one. And I'm just gonna hope and pray that it doesn't move. I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit, enough to penetrate, but hopefully not enough to move it. We'll see though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous that bar is gonna wanna collapse just like it did on my strut tower brace on the back of my BMW, so. Everybody cross your fingers and let's hope that that don't move. I wish I could weld it just right there in the car and just leave it, but that ain't gonna happen. It's gotta come out. This is literally the biggest roll bar I've ever made. Not really. Look at how tiny that thing is, dude. It's pretty neat though, I gotta admit, I'm kind of digging it now. I'm struggling today, you guys, a little bit just with life in general, but it's turning out pretty good. I got most of this welded out, you guys. I welded the verticals here and here. I'm letting this cool off for a while. I'm gonna test fit it. I'm gonna weld the top and the bottom. Sorry, top and the bottom of that joint. See if I can keep it from pulling. So I welded the sides, so hopefully it won't do too much distortion this way. I'm gonna fight it this way now because I welded, but what I did, I welded this side and I welded the other side. So whatever it pulled this way, it should pull back. Same with on this side. Whatever it pulled this way, it should pull back. I'm gonna do the same thing when I weld the top and the bottom. That's why I let it do this, because it's out of the car, you guys. I'm literally welding it on my bench right there with the little room I have because my shop's a disaster. But I did get all the feet welded on. It's looking pretty good, you guys. We'll see. I'm gonna go in the house for a little bit, let this thing cool down. I'm gonna come back, hit these last couple welds. I gotta throw a battery charger on this. I do got to get all the carpet put back in before I can test fit this for the last time. But now you guys can see my rib nuts that I put in. They're 3/8/16 rib nuts. They're big guys, so all these bolts are 3/8/16 that I put in this car. And I'm not sure, I think I didn't show you guys this earlier. So those are the nuts that I welded onto my plates. And I also marked them passenger and driver side just with my steel stamps. Those of you who don't know what steel stamps are, let's see if I can get to them. I'll kind of show you what they are. So these are steel stamps, you guys. It's a whole set of them. Letters and numbers. And literally you take these out, you flip them over, you hit the back of it with a hammer, and it stamps your steel. So like if you're doing a serial number in a homemade trailer you built, you're gonna need a set of these because, well, at least in Montana you do, because you have to stamp the number in the trailer in front of the highway patrol here in Montana so that you can license your homemade trailer if you build one of those. I know because I built three, sorry. No, two. I have two, and I fixed some other homemade trailers. I've never, my two I've had to do in front of a cop. So that's kind of the way it works in Montana, or used to work. It's been quite a few years since I've done that. So. But that's what steel stamps are. That's kind of what they do. Once you stamp them, then you can see I got driver, that's the driver side, and I got pass over here, so they know which side. They should be interchangeable. I just marked them to make sure that the holes line up perfectly. I did open up those holes just a little bit in the that, whatever you want to call that, rear firewall behind the seats here. I opened those holes up just a little bit. Mainly on that side because I needed a little bit of play to get this to line up next to that suspension link. I don't think the pocket's perfectly square in there, and I might have drilled the top hole just a little bit off, so I opened them up just a little bit so I have a little bit of clearance there. I got this in. It's fighting me just a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. It moved just a teeny bit, but you guys can see how awesome that is now. He's gonna love this, dude. It's freaking cool looking. Super simple design, you guys, but I'm gonna tell you, it is fighting me a little bit right at the moment. So I do got it bolted in. I built this on the actual floor, you guys. Bolted it in. Like I said, you guys saw the tab I made under there. Everything's in here. You gotta really put the bolts in a certain order because these did. This, like I thought, was going to collapse just a little bit. I drilled the holes out for a little bit of clearance. That helped. I was trying to put it over the carpet, you guys, so the roll cage would sit over the carpet. I think he's going to have to do the carpet over the roll cage. Just because it's really tight right here. Literally, you got to put those in loosely, kind of force this down, and then get these ones in down here, you guys. Because I built it very tight. Like it. I mean, I literally think if you rolled this car, you'd be totally cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow at work, kind of let him know what I'm fighting, when I tried to go over the carpet, the thickness of the carpet, it's too much. It's just a little too tight for this to work. So I'm hoping he can have his guy cut this out around here and sew something around this, because he's got to have it done up here anyways to clear my roll cage. So I'm hoping I can just give him all the parts I took out of here and he can get this to fit around here, and I can unbolt this for him. He can get it painted, and then either they can put it back in or I'll put it back in, because it's got to go in a certain kind of order. Because like I said, these, not only did it kind of collapse this way a little, but it actually moved in a little this way too. It pulled towards itself, which I kind of told you guys I thought might happen. So yeah, we're gonna talk to him about that tomorrow at work, because I do work with this guy. So make sure that he's all right with that. If not, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna fudge some more stuff trying to get this to just drop in, bolt in like super easy. And it's not that it's hard, it's just you gotta know which way to bolt it in or you're gonna fight it a little bit. But other than that, I think we're kind of, for the most part, we're done. We're gonna talk to him and then I'll figure out, because there's a panel that I took out back here, carpet that comes out here, then there's like some little grommets here that bolt in into this face. They're like a little, I don't know, some kind of little bracket for a cover. Oh, I got them in the trunk, sorry. Yeah, it's got all these little leather straps too. I'm guessing that's to hold the soft top down if you wanted to. But it's got all these little brackets like this. It's some kind of other little cover that clips into it. I think there's another cover for this car. I'm not super familiar with MGs, but I think you can take this off and there's a cover that goes like this, and then all the way down and clips into those. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's got some stuff he needs the sewing guy to do. I hooked him up with a guy here out in East Helena. I don't really know him personally, but I know of him just through people. And he's helped me out with some stuff. Like I got some of this clear plastic from him when I did my Rhino cover, because I did like a full canvas cover for my side-by-side. And he gave me some of that stuff, or I bought some from him. So I sent him to that guy out in East Helena. He's a pretty good dude. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. It's like 9:30 at night, you guys. I spent way too much time on this tonight. I just fighting everything today. I don't know. Universe and me weren't agreeing. So that's kind of where we're at. It's in there. It looks pretty cool. All right, guys. It is Monday night, actually after work. I talked to my guy about my MG. I showed him some pictures of the bar. He loves it. He was like a little kid in a candy store. Like you could just see the joy on his face. He's like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. So he was pretty excited about it. I talked to him about the carpet. He told me to leave the carpet alone. He said, unbolt what you can. Just leave like one bolt in this thing. So I'm gonna undo all these bolts except for like one. Just enough to hold that in there. And honestly, I'm probably just gonna leave it. When he comes, picks it up, I'm gonna undo him so he can see how it comes out and show him that I told him it's a little tight, just because stuff kind of moved when I welded it. But he's aware of it. He's happier than a pig and shit. Pig and poo, sorry. He's gonna have his upholstery guy, the guy that I hooked him up with out in East Helena. He's gonna go see him, and he's gonna have him fix all the carpet around here and put all the stuff that I took out back in this car. So yay, I got out of upholstery work, so I'm happy about that. That's good. But I don't think it shouldn't be very hard. I believe Brandon should be able to. He's the guy out in East Helena that's gonna probably do this upholstery for him. You can see it kind of goes down. What I'm hoping he'll do is just cut around these and sew some seams in there, because this piece comes out, the piece up here comes out, obviously this carpet's in here in pieces, so it should be pretty easy for him to cut it out, pull it out, and sew maybe some of this around it just to make it look better so you can still access these bolts. I did kind of talk to the guy about, he wanted these maybe nut certed too. I know those holes are a little big. I kind of looked at it. I don't think my nut cert's going to fit in there, because I kind of had to open them up a little bit to get enough play to get this to fit back in there. And I told him that he's aware of what is going on in this car. I ain't gonna lie to anybody about what I'm doing. So that's kind of where it's at. I also told him that I found a gas line that didn't have the hose clamp on it. I don't know if it rattled loose or it just never got tightened when they put a new fuel pump in this car. So I crawled under this thing and I tightened it up for him today. He said, just if you see something wrong, just fix it, add it onto the bill. This is also the other thing I found broke, you guys. You can see it's just split. This is a limiting strap in the back of this car. It keeps axle from dropping too far. So I'm gonna go try to order this tonight and get it put on there for him. He told me if I can find it, just order it and put it on if I want to. And I was like, yeah, I can get it done for you, man. It's 2 bolts. So he's actually a really good guy that I work with. So I'm gonna help him out and get this done. Even though I don't do mechanical stuff for people, I'm doing this. Because I do know him, and you know, he paid me up front for all this, and it's 2 bolts. Literally, this is mechanical work I can handle pretty easily, you guys. So other than that, we're gonna get this ordered, and hopefully I can get it here quick, because he needs this car done in like 3 weeks. He's giving it to his wife for their anniversary. So he's got to get the car get painted. This door's got some little touch up, and I think there's something else on this car he's getting touched up. And then he's giving it back to his wife. So I got to get this ordered in here, and maybe not installed, but at least here. So when the paint's done, I told him I'd help him put this bar back in, since I'm the one that knows how it goes in. So he's like, yeah, that'd be great. So once it gets painted, we'll get that put in for him. Hopefully this will be here by then, and I can get that dropped in for him too. Then we can settle up on our bill, and he'll be happy. His wife is gonna love this thing, I think. It's a neat little car, you guys. You know, it's an MG. I think it's cool. It's just cool. The roll cage really like finishes it off. I do got it jacked up off the ground right now, you guys, because I had to get this out of there. So, so for right now, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna jump over to my plow truck. I got something to fix on that too. You guys will see that in another video.